Good afternoon, everybody. Doofus Bob here once again. And as always, I don't remember which episode this is. So we did one where we started, we used the wire brush to start gouging out the path of the glaciers. And now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk for a little bit. And this might be a short video, 15, maybe 30 minutes, maybe less. Um, and then um, the rest of it will be in the form of shorts because I'm just going to sit here and talk while I'm doing a variety of stuff. But sometimes I need to stop and think about what I'm doing, and it'll just end up being me meandering. And so, you know, um, we'll see which way works best. Again, as I said before, many videos. This is something I'm building for myself, and it's a hobby, right? So, got my coffee here, little Cactus Squatch by Black Rifle Company, great coffee. This is the Cork Sickle Boba Fett cup. So first, I'm knocking stuff over here. We've got our heat gun. Okay, now I got this on Amazon. It's a WEN 2-speed heat gun. And I'm going to show you how we can use that to modify the overall texture here. Okay. Now, this isn't like 100% smooth, shiny glass-like feel. There's a little bit of texture that comes on this, and that's from the extruding manufacturing process. Okay, but once I put the snow coverage over this fine roughness here, if you will, this texture, it'll be completely covered. And even some of these lines here will get covered up. So we're going to make these deeper. And that's what I'm going to do in this episode. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to show you how we can use the heat gun here, and probably talk a little bit while I'm doing it. We're going to, after that, this will be an episode or two. We need to get into the trenches. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring the camera over here in a minute. Yeah, I start cutting a little bit just to show you the difficulty of cutting it with like a knife or whatever. But a hot wire cutter is going to make this much easier. You can even use the heat gun here to do it. However, pointing the heat gun in one spot that long, it'll start melting. I don't know if it can ignite or not. I would think it might be able to, so I don't recommend that. Um, so let's get started. And trying to think, what else was I going to tell you? We will do this. Probably spend some shorts digging out the glaciers a little bit more. Then I'll make some more shorts where I'm going to use the hot wire cutter some more. We need to work on that back piece. And I've been giving some thought to the entrance to Echo Base over here. That'll be on that side. And I'm not really sure. I'm still kind of thinking about it. We've got this great Tinker Turf gate thing that we bought, this paper, right? And if we can incorporate this into it, that'd be great. Oop, we moved a little bit. There we go. So that's why I haven't gotten that yet. And let's face it, I do have a day job. I've been work has been busy. Getting home mentally exhausted, or just mental. So now it's what's today? What is today? I think today it's the Sunday before Christmas. I know that. I'm happy to say I got 18 days off in a row. Just I had plenty of vacation time, and I decided, well, I've had enough of this. I'm gonna just go ahead and take some time off here. I do have to go in and do a couple things, but it's not like a full day, maybe an hour or two. So we're going to give the echo base thing here some thought. Um, if you picture this guy here, right? Well, so one of my thoughts was, okay, like if I cut this in half and split it up, and then kind of put one on either side, and then like bury it into this here, so that you only see like this part, not necessarily this part. So if we were to take it here, cut it in half, cut out the inner part here, and then sequester that inside it, I think that might be the way to go. So, um, yeah, that's my top theory right now. The plan. Reached out to a friend or two and said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" They thought about it, and one of them actually came back with the same idea. So don't be afraid to bounce ideas off people's heads. All right. All right. I'm gonna take some of this stuff off, and then I'm going to show you the heat gun and what it can do, and then we'll just do some gouging and some cutting. Okay. So I'm going to turn on the heat gun, and you'll see that it's going to be noisy. I'm going to try to talk over it, but it's just, bear with me here. Now, you'll see there's some discoloration here. I already tried it. So we're gonna point the heat gun over here and just watch what it does. So there's a slight color change, but if I hold it there long enough, you can see what it's doing. Okay, so you see that? We're looking right over here. Okay. Now, what happens if you hold it in the same spot too long? Okay. So that is on a setting of 1. I could turn it up to setting 2, and depending on the heat gun, this one actually comes with a little metal thing here, so we can just stand it up and not burn the house down. So look at the texture we got here, right? It's a little warm, but it's not. I wouldn't touch it if it was still bubbly, because you're gonna burn yourself. But look at the surface area now. So that's kind of what we want to do throughout here, and that's going to take a minute. Okay, this is a lot of surface area to cover. This build is quite large. So my thought was, hold on, I lost it. Okay, so I took the wire brush and I gouged out some lines here, kind of like we did on the main one here. Reason being, this looks great, just to break up the surface and give it that natural divoted glacier snow field looking look. But I've never tried it on a piece like this that already has the stuff gouged out. So let's see what it looks like. So we're both learning something here. Trying to make sure you can see this. Okay. Okay. So look at that. That, so it looks like what it did is the heat went into the little gouges and stuff, and it just like spread out a little bit more, and that looks pretty good. I like that. That looks like real glacier now. And we've got these, it's hard to see, let me see if I can bring, there it is. You see that we got little beady points here, and we got divots, and we got everything just kind of looks like it happened naturally. So I'm very happy with this. I'm very happy with that. Now, let's see what it does to something I've already cut. So that's interesting. Where the black ink was, it behaved differently. And I think that's the ink reacting with the heat, and it's acting like it's holding onto the foam. So this looks a little bit more burnt like, but over here it rounded out these edges pretty nicely. I kind of like that. Um, Let me try something else here. Let's just go along. You got to let it warm up a minute. Okay. So now if you look at it, it looks like where this is four pieces glued together, right? And it looks like it just resealed. You can see this is the glue right here, and I've remelted it. I didn't even expect that. I didn't think about that, but it looks a little bit natural. You got these little crevices and whatnot here. Um, this got a little exaggerated right here. So we kind of like it. I don't like the way this looks up here. Don't like that at all. So that's something to note because that's probably the ink reacting with the heat, which is attached to the foam, right? It's printed on the foam, and it's not letting the foam melt properly. So that is a good lesson. All right, there. Let's try it on top of this one now. Now this, I like this piece, but what I'd like to do, I don't know what to do up here. Let's see if we can do something there. Let it warm up. So I'm just making some divots and seeing how that looks. Maybe put one here. Okay, there you go. Look at that. I really like that. That looks pretty good. We've got it's just kind of naturally looking terrain now. We had another piece. Where did I put that piece? We could put something like this up here, and just like let it just a piece of ice and rock up there. So I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, lighting looks good. Okay. So I really do like the way this came out. Now, what I don't like is if you look here, this gap here got really wide. And I kind of thought that might happen, but I wanted to do it on camera so you could see. So this is a little bit too much here. And we will backfill this with whatever we use to make the snow, which will probably be a mix of maybe drywall mud, hodgepodge, and Elmer's glue. And we're going to experiment. I will experiment with that off camera first. And I'll kind of talk about it a little bit and see how I settled on stuff. There's lots of good YouTube videos on there. The problem is they're using, in some cases, they're using like powdered Mod Podge and stuff like that. And some of the stuff they use, what is that, Plastomold, I think? That stuff is pricey. So for a project of this scale, that's going to cost a decent amount of money. It's Christmas time. Just bought the grandkids and my daughter some Christmas gifts. So we's a little po at the moment, but we'll get to that. That's probably far off. That might be March. This is December. Um, gonna try to get a video a week for the next couple of weeks. We're probably gonna have some shorts. So, um, just because I'm on vacation. So, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to reposition the camera and do some more glacier carving. Okay, well, we're back. I had to move the camera around and get things set up. Going to continue gouging some more, and we're going to try to get some deeper gouges here in the middle, especially coming more this way. Let's see the frame here. Yes, we're good. You'll notice the camera has a little bit of a tilt to it. That's just the stand and the way the camera sits on its little mount. To be honest, I should probably get a better camera, but that costs money, and we just had a conversation about that. So, um, it probably would have been easier if I hadn't bought a 50 RTX 5080 gaming GPU for my PC. That's for the gaming channel. If you want to watch some Skyrim playthroughs and some Tales of the Shire, and maybe recommend another game. I'm trying to find some other game to play that people might want to watch. But that's I did look at the price of cameras, and they were pricey. At least the good ones. This is a cheapo. All right, let's see. I'm going to try to go over the line here where the two pieces meet and make it look continuous. Now, again, as I said last time, if it starts to bother you, you have some allergies, asthma, or anything like that, I recommend a dust mask. I hope you guys are having a good holiday. Hope nobody, Uncle Ralph didn't try to stab Aunt Betty or whatever it is. Um, over the years, I got invited to people's houses for holidays. My family, we didn't grow up celebrating Christmas, so oftentimes, especially when I was in college, go to people's houses. I just got invited, and all the spectacles. Like, it's funny. You get a little wine into some people, and they just start going on about all kinds of stuff. So remember, the glacier is going to come over this way. We'll hit some ridges and then go this way. So I'm trying to give this bend here a kind of a deep. It goes in and then abruptly turns around. And I'm tilting the wire brush on its edge here. By the way, after the last video, it took me like an hour to vacuum all this stuff up. And it's staticky, so it's sticking to everything. Let me grab my brush. Okay. So, now when it comes to this part here, I would like to give it texture, but we might leave that for when we do the snow. Okay. What we're doing now is giving some depth to this so that when we put the snow on, we're going to go over all this again anyway, but it'll have something to fall into, and we'll maintain the texture. Hopefully, you know. I haven't done it on this large scale before, so. Okay, I went off camera there for a second. I just want to keep following along. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is have like a deep crevice coming down somewhere. And at first I thought, well, of course I'll put it in the middle. But the Imperial troops are going to have to go around it. So I'm thinking if the AT-AT is going to stand right about here, the AT-AT walking over these little terrain issues isn't a problem. The forces, on the other hand, might. So we need to decide, with all the troops congregating over here. Hold on, can you see me? Right over here. And the AT-AT here. Let's see. Let me think about this. Tell you what. Natural flow, if it's going down this way, it'll probably be in the middle. But if there's ridges over here, free flow will probably be over here. There'll be a lot of churning and stuff over here. But the least path of least resistance should be on this edge coming here. So let's put it there. Right, yeah, that works. So I'm getting really deep right now. Again, this is the drywall saw. Okay, it's got the, oh, over here. Sorry, we've got the nice deep separated teeth over here. Okay, and trying to get better camera angles for you. My YouTube channel manager Donut was just complaining. He's like, these look like crap. So, okay. Please watch your hands. The holidays is when people go to ER the most, and it's just an expense you don't want. 2020, I tell you what, I can't wait for 2025 to be gone. I'm gonna start the next year because I mean this whole year has just been a financial nightmare. I thank God that actually I've been okay, but I know some people who are just struggling big time. So this is gonna force. Here, let me get some of this out of here. Where's Captain Jack? Let's get him over here. Now the Imperial machinery should be fine, right? Let me see. Do I have any of those? Got Captain Jack here. Okay, so now you picture him trying to run over this. This looks very natural. He's gonna have to jump over here. Same for the Imperial troops, but the machinery shouldn't have a big problem. Okay, remember there were 4 units of Imperial forces: Blizzard 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, I can't remember which one it was. It's written in the lore that one of the Blizzard units actually was coming this way over here, and there should be a deep crevice over here, which we are going to do. Yeah, and they got stuck. Okay, and they lost an AT-AT over here. And that's why in some of the scenes in the beginning of the Battle of Hoth, you see 4 AT-ATs, and then towards the end, you see 3, and then they lost another one when it blew up. There might have been more in the background. So we will do something about that here. I think Star Wars Legions does make a battle damage AT-AT that we could put here, but it would look weird compared to the one we're going to use, because the one we're going to use is just huge. So, okay, Just a little bit of size comparison there for you. Okay. So now we're going to continue. We're getting close to the trenches too. And what we can do is we got to give the forces a reason to where they can't come this way, right? So let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's come over here and dig something. Just really get deep in there. Oh, wait, you can't see that. Hold on. Boy, I tell you, doing a YouTube channel is the gaming one is much easier, and I keep screwing that up too sometimes. But I have to stop, reposition the camera, do this, and then move this around and do that, and I feel like it makes me look like an idiot. All right, I promise I'm not one. Well, we all have our moments. So what I want to do is we're going to just give the Imperial forces a reason not to come this way. And let's pretend some of this glacier had come down this way and made it so it's just so crevassey, right? There's so much gouges here. You can make really deep ones. Okay, that looks really good. I like that. Okay, and one thing we could do is we can get, something like this. We'll make it really small and we'll put it so that, here, take that apart. We'll get pieces like this, right? So one, they have to go over this deep crevice now, but there's already like rocks and stuff in their way, and you can put something else. You can take that apart there and maybe put it like this to make it flow in this direction. Okay, and then have something like that. So now they can't really go over this way. All right, let's move some stuff around. Okay. All right. So probably gonna just end it here. We're digging in deeper, and I'm gonna start making some shorts. I'll probably let me vacuum up all this crap, and then I will do maybe a minute or two of the heat gun. Okay, we're back. Now I vacuumed up all the stuff, the debris. I have a wet dry vac down here, and I emptied it out, and all these little bits and stuff like this right here. You mix that into whatever I'm going to use to put snow, and you've got natural little boulders of ice and rock. I'm going to keep all that. Well, we'll show you that what we'll do with it later. But if you're starting a project like this, or you're in the the first stages of it, all the big chunks of foam, all the little bits like this, keep all that. And if you haven't used it after X amount of time, don't clutter your house. Just get rid of it. You can always make more later. Okay, so we did the gouges. We did these right here. This looks great. Look, you can see it even on the camera how deep it is, and then how deep these are over here. So because this is 4x8, I have a really hard time getting good camera angles. So at the end of this video right here, right now, I'm going to show you. Let's add some texture here with the heat gun, and let's see. Remember that this particular ice shelf is going to sit right here. Now that's at the very top of the camera. I know it's hard to see, but I want you to focus here, and I'm using this as a guide. Okay. Now we're gonna turn it on. It's gonna be a little loud, but I'll try to talk over it. Always let it heat up a little bit. Okay. Keep your hand away. Test it. It's pretty warm. Okay. So when I go over this, those crevices are expanding now. And they look like real ice that's been melted and then refrozen. Okay. Now let's focus right here. If I go up and down, it shows you how close and far away I can get. Let's put like a so like if the glacier was going around like that, and then coming back around like that. Okay. Another path. So what I'm doing is if we're going like this with the natural currents, then I want this. So it's a little hard to see, but there's actually ridges here now. Now, as I was doing that, you saw it got really low. Further back here, I kind of touched it a little bit and it made a nice deep one, but that's fine. That's fine. That looks really good. Okay. Well, I try to keep these around 30 minutes, but I also want to show you exactly everything I'm doing. This came out really good. There's a nice divot here. In fact, this is coming out so well that I think when I go to put the snow on, I can just do Elmer's glue, maybe flat white paint, and just a little bit of Mod Podge. Just keep it really thin. And it'll flow into all these crevices. And we'll probably go over it with the brush again or the wire brush, then paint it again until we're happy. This looks really good. You can see there's some natural cracks here now. Over here, it looks like a real ice glacier surface. All right, so we did a little heat gunning, and then we're going to jump here to the end because the rest of them will be shorts that we'll upload. You can see how well the heat gun did. If picture trying to create this texture by hand, that would have been a lot of work. I think it would have been a little frustrating. There would have been a lot of put material down, sanding, scraping, this and that. And I don't think it would look as natural as what we got now. Okay. One thing of concern is where the two big pieces meet. There's been some warping there because of the heat gun. But as I kind of want this edge, this side to be a little bit higher than this, that's fine. We'll slope it down with some snow material. Okay. I did put my ridges back here just as a guide, because if you picture the glacier is going to come around and it'll hit that maybe come around this way. We'll put like a hill or something over here. And then we're going to extend this piece out over here, just low, maybe about an inch. And let me move this. You can see, this glacier flow comes this way. Put that back. It goes perfectly around it. And I think it looks great. This looks wonderful. This is really what I wanted. This part right here got really deep. And we've got some deep grooves. We've got some low ones, some deep ones, some craters. We've got some sharp ridges or gouges, whatever, glacier points, whatever. I don't know what the proper word for it is. Ice flows, I guess. And it came out really good. Came out really good. I'm very happy with this. Altogether, I'd say beginning to end, including all the shorts and stuff like that we're going to get out of this, is probably about an hour or two. Not 2 hours. It was 2 hours. Okay. Okay. So I think we're going to call this heat gun and foam. I'm not sure what else to call it. But tell me what you think. I think it's coming along really well. And like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video where I believe we're going to start digging our trenches. Because we want to get the surface area done so that when we dug the trenches, it all blended together. Okay? All right. I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Probably after Christmas, right before the new year. Have fun, everybody.